This Monday, Dorian Bond was convicted of murdering 2-year-old Krystal Dains, who died of a severe skull fracture after sustaining more than 50 injuries. Bond was watching Cassidy the night of her death in the home he shared with the toddler and her mother, Krystal Dains. Krystal Dains agreed to speak with us in an exclusive interview about her daughter and what happened leading up to and after her death. I wanted to ask you first, we've heard a lot in the trial about the night Cassidy died. What I would like to hear now is about who Cassidy was. Could you tell me a little bit about what she was like?
I can tell you like so much about her, and let's go on and on and on. She was really smart for her age, for being 2. She could count to 10. She knew some of her colors. Like her vocabulary was like excellent for her age. She loved fishing. There was one time I took her fishing, and her sister caught a fish. She got so bad she threw a rod in the pond.
Tell me about the rest of your family. You have 2 older children?
I do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Allie, Lynn, and
James. Yeah, they're good kids. James is 8 and Allie is 5. Yeah, they're both in school, doing really good.
So I wanted to ask you about how you came to meet Dorian.
Facebook.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned in the trial that he stuck up for you?
Yeah, he did. Somebody was commenting on something of mine, and he told them to leave me alone, and I ended up thanking him and just started talking from there.
What was he like when you first met him?
He was really nice, really nice. I mean, I was having a bad day at work, and he sent me 4 dozen roses.
4 dozen?
4 dozen, yeah. We were just friends, and then we just started talking more and more, and he wanted to meet me, came down, met me. It was just me and him. And then we still continued to talk, and he told me a little bit about his family. But, yeah, and then we just ended up dating.
And what was that like?
It was good. I mean, it wasn't like a perfect relationship, but it was good for the most part.
You mentioned that he started to get violent.
Yeah.
So how did that progress?
There was one time where he trashed my house. He was just mad. And I had told him, you stop or I'm going to call the police. He didn't stop, so I just called the police on him. They just removed him from the house. And then after that time, it happened one more time, and that's when he hit me. And I told him I was done. And I called my parents and my family and told them I wanted to come home. And then he, I think it was 2 days before I moved home, this is 1 week that this all happened, he wanted his clothes. And I said that I would bring him to him. So I brought him to him, and of course he talked me out of having him arrested.
What did he say to you at that time?
He was like, "You're really gonna have me arrested?" And I said, "Yeah." And I told him I was moving home. And he said, "Well, you're going home, so why don't you just go home and drop it?" And I did. And then I moved home. And he'd called me a few times and told me that he missed me and he loved me and he didn't want to break up. And I felt bad, of course, and told me that he wasn't going to have anywhere to go. And that's why he moved here. He moved here, got a job right away. And started working at Cortland Plastics for a few weeks. And then he went to Marietta with me. But he was working, and to the best of my knowledge, he wasn't drinking.
Why did you stay with Dorian?
I think because I loved him. I felt bad. He didn't have any family. Both his parents passed away, and his siblings were very rude to him. I didn't like him.
My next question is kind of a difficult one. At the trial, his defense attorney brought up your history with Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could explain what happened from your perspective.
A lot of the CPS history is also involved the other parent. So I was listed on there because I am the mother. There was a couple incidents with my son that involved his dad. They were called on his dad. But because I'm the mother, I'm listed, they have to investigate all that. The part that he was talking about welts and whatever he said had nothing to do with me, and all it was is my son was attacked by a cat. And yeah, he was attacked by a cat, and his dad took him to the hospital to make sure that he was okay. And the hospital called CPS on him. So it come back, nothing was found or whatever. And of course, I wasn't, nothing on me. I didn't even live with him. I wasn't even with his dad at the time. The one time that CPS was called and I was indicated was the time that I smacked my son because he kicked me. And his dad and me were not dating at the time. We were just roommates, and we were having like a argument or whatever, and he called the cops on me and had me removed from his house. And then I was served the next day with an order of protection. But it all got dropped as soon as the CPS came back. I admitted that what I did, I explained everything, the way I did it and why I did it, and I was able to see my son again. But.
So you were cleared?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You were at work at the time Cassidy was attacked?
Yep. But because she had so many, injuries, they have to, I'm her mother, so they have to, and I don't blame them for doing that, But of course I was pretty upset at the time because I really needed my children.
Yeah.
But I was able to see them the next visit, so.
It sounds like, for a while at least, it was a pretty good life with you and Dorian and the kids here in Cortland.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea, or did you have any idea that something like this could have happened?
No. If I had an idea, I wouldn't have left my child with him. They loved each other, and I had no reason to believe that anything like this would have ever happened. Yeah.
Why do you think it did happen?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so confused. I don't know. If he didn't want to watch her, he could have just said something. She could have gone somewhere else. I mean, that day I had her stuff packed and she was going to go to my mom's, and he told me that she could stay there with him. And I even told him, "Are you sure? She can go to my mom's for a little while. Pick her up on my way home.
Yeah.
She can stay here with me."
He promised after Cassidy's death, when he was in jail, and you went to visit him to ask him what had happened, he promised that he would tell you the truth.
Yep.
Has he been in contact with you?
No. I don't want to talk to him. And I also had to, I don't think he can call me anyways, because I called the jail in November and had them block my number from his code, his inmate number or whatever he has to use, so he could stop calling me, because he called me every day for 6 months, 3 times a day.
Why?
I don't know.
Did you ever answer? Or?
Nope. I was shown pictures of Cass, and I then started not believing him, because I thought that when they asked me about bruises and stuff, that they were just the ones that she had. She had 3 of them on her shins, and one cut on her chin and the little one on her forehead, but I thought that's what they were talking about. And when I saw those pictures, that is not how I left my child.
When you went to visit Bond in June, you testified that was to find out information about what had really happened. What did he tell you at that time?
He told me that he heard, the thud or whatever, went in and picked her up. She was crying, said she was okay. Apparently, that's what he said. And that he laid her on the couch and kept checking on her. Seemed like she was okay. I don't think that he did. Because if he did, then he would have known that she was cold and something was wrong. I even told him in text messages, don't let her go to sleep. Make sure she's okay. Is she all right? Yep, she will be. Yeah, he didn't tell me that she wasn't breathing, or she had trouble breathing. But apparently he knew right from the start, because he told Lieutenant Caulfield that.
Now that the trial is over, what do you hope for?
I'm hoping that I can I can start to, I don't know, I really don't, I'm never going to be the same. There's not going to be a day that goes by that I don't wish that my daughter was here, but I'm hoping that I can heal a little bit, move forward. I don't think I can start to do that until after he's sentenced, because then it's over. It's so hard because I trusted him with my kids, because he wasn't mean to my kids. This is why I don't trust anybody. I don't even trust my mom to watch my kids. I trusted Dorian. And now I no longer trust anyone. I never had that gut feeling, nothing, no red flags, nothing.
Sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah. And I feel like Cassie would, because she could talk so good, that if he was mean to her, that she would have told me. She would have been afraid of him. You know, if he was behind my back, you know, mean to her, but just don't trust anybody. Not everybody's who you think they are.
Bond is scheduled for sentencing for murder on March 28th in Cortland County Court. His conviction for second-degree murder carries a potential sentence of 25 years to life in state prison. Reporting for the Cortland Voice, I'm Sarah Bullock.